Let's talk about Project L. Recently, Riot released a bunch of information on their upcoming fighting game known as Project L. It is a 2v2 versus style fighting game in which you control two separate characters that form a team. With extremely dynamic assists, a fluid and interesting movement, and an interesting tag mechanic, Project L is quickly becoming one of the most anticipated fighting games of this generation. Due to Riot's relentless marketing team, there's a good chance that there's a bunch of people who are interested in picking up the game, but they haven't tried fighting games before. Maybe they want to see what the genre has to offer first, so that they don't go into the deep end once the game finally becomes playable to the public. Maybe the project piqued their interest in the genre as a whole, and they just want to see what other games are most like it. Or maybe you're already a fighting game player and you want to know which current games will help you be most prepared. Well, whichever type of person you are, you're in luck, as I've found 4 of the hottest, current, and definitely relevant fighting games that will help you prepare for once Riot begins to take over the FGC. All of these games have pros and cons to them, and none of them will play exactly like how Project L would. Not to mention, I haven't actually played the damn game yet, so I'm just going off of all the public information that the devs have given us. But with that information and my genius level intellect, I've been able to find 4 games that will help you prepare for Project L. I have ordered these games from least to most helpful, probably, but all of them will be good practice for when the game comes out, trust me. Also, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit shit in this video. I've been dying all week. It's been terrible. I'm literally recording this Friday night, so there's a good chance it doesn't make it out. We'll see. So without any more delays, let's get started.
No, don't, Frieza!
Dragon Ball FighterZ is currently the most popular team-based fighting game on the market, and it's for good reason. FighterZ takes the extremely popular IP of Dragon Ball and turns it into an accessible, flashy, and extremely fun team game that anyone can pick up and play, but has enough depth that you can spend thousands of hours attempting to master it. Being the most accessible game on this list, Dragon Ball FighterZ will be a good starting point for anyone completely new to the genre. While the tutorial is not very good, the game has begun to reach the end of its life cycle, meaning that there are a lot of resources out there on how to play the game. The community is still very much active and thriving, so you can always find people to play against, people to help you learn things, and people to argue with about the balance of the game. This game also is extremely visually stunning, with the game's supers and combos making you feel like an absolute badass just by how they look while you perform them. Not to mention, the game only uses quarter circle inputs and has auto combos, so you don't have to worry about learning a lot of motion inputs when first playing the game. When your most complicated input is a quarter circle forward and 2 buttons, you get to start thinking about the game much faster. There is a reason that the game is at the bottom of the list, however. To start with the obvious, the game is 3v3 and not 2v2, meaning you have more resources to work with in fighters than you will in Project L. The assists also seem to function very differently. While Project L has multiple assists per character, Dragon Ball FighterZ has 1 assist per character that you're able to choose at the start of the match. Because of this, FighterZ is much more restrictive in what you can get away with your team. The movement is also much more restrictive, with Dragon Ball just having air dashes and a super dash, which is completely unique to it. This isn't to say that Dragon Ball is bad, it's one of my favorite fighting games of all time. It's literally how I started my channel before Strive came along. Just know that the game is recommended for people just coming into the genre to get the basics of everything. The game will very much teach you how team games work on a most basic level, and will hopefully prepare you with fundamentals for when Project L comes out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Unfortunately, Skullgirls is the only indie fighting game on this list, but goddamn is it here for good reason. Having a gorgeous art style, insane speed, and one of the best tutorials in this genre, Skullgirls will treat you well right up until you pass the closest locker so that it can shove you into it. And when I say one of the best tutorials in the business, I mean it. Skullgirls tutorial not only will teach you how to play Skullgirls, but the tutorial will also give you strategies that you can use in literally every fighting game. Which tutorials have surpassed Skullgirls is a topic for a completely different video. But Skullgirls tutorial is absolutely one of the best in the genre even still. It'll whip you into shape faster than you will believe. Aside from that, the roster may seem small, but each character has their own unique playstyle and synergies with other characters, leading to a great sense of team customization and player expression. Each of these characters also has more things that they can do compared to your average average versus fighting game character. So, you can generally get away with a lot more in these characters than you would expect in these other games. You're also able to choose the team size from anywhere between 1 and 3 characters. The more characters you have, the less damage that they do and less HP that they have, but you obviously gain access to their assists. Their assists can be literally anything you want from the move lists. The level of freedom that Skullgirls gives you allows for crazy customizations and crazy strategies, which you can't find in anything else in the genre. However, the learning curve for this game is steep, to say the least. Going from casually enjoying the game to taking it even slightly seriously causes a massive leap in the way that you have to view the game and what you have to learn, with resets being king, crazy mix-ups being the norm, and situations where sometimes you just don't get to fucking move, you'll quickly find yourself knowledge checked to hell and back before you can even grasp what's going on with the game. My recommendation is to play the game with some friends. Skullgirls has been around for a really long time at this point, so you can find it pretty cheap if you know where to look. Plus, the game is still getting updated with the developers adding even more crazy characters. The game also has one of the only grapplers I like in it, so if you can take that as an indication of quality, then take it. The only reason it's not higher on the list is because there's nothing specific in Skullgirls that I could see being in Project L that other games don't have better. It's still an amazing option and great with friends, however, if you're preparing just for Project L, maybe these other games will help you out a little bit more.
Get ready for the fight of your life.
Let's go crazy!
Marvel vs. Capcom is the grandfather of all versus games. Its existence is literally why we call these games versus games. Now, I could have chosen one specific Marvel game to put on this list and call it there, but I feel like every MVC game has something unique to offer in terms of preparing for Project L. Starting with the one that I know the most about, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is an insane game that always manages to bring the hype whenever people play it. Being extremely fast, MVC 3 is able to skirt along the line of just bullshit enough to be considered crazy, but not bullshit enough to be considered garbage. While the most infamous part of Marvel 3 hopefully won't make it into Project L, there are some things that are definitely going to be parts of Marvel's DNA that we can already see. The movement, for one, is very much Marvel inspired. In MVC, you can dash by pressing 2 of the buttons on the ground. Now, normally dashes have a bit of ending lag after the recovery, meaning that you can't move. You can do any other option, however, you can't actually continue to move. You can block, you can jump, you can crouch, you can attack, you just can't move forward or back. However, if you press down, you cancel that animation. So if you button dash, then press down, you can move freely. This then leads to you being able to do this. This is known as wave dashing, and it's a vital tool for maneuvering your character around the battlefield. There is a more advanced version of this called plink dashing, where you're able to cancel attack into a dash, which makes you go a little bit further. However, I am very sick, so I don't have the energy to learn how to do that shit right now. Developers have also shown us that wave dashing and other Marvel-like movement options are in Project L, so having a head start with these types of movement systems will help you tremendously at the start. However, Marvel 3 is unfortunately stuck in the delay-based hell, and that's where the other Marvel games come in. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite both have rollback netcode, albeit with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 having it through Fightcade, meaning it's much easier to fight people in these games. However, MVC2 is kind of bullshit, and MVCI flopped hard, though I've heard people really like that one. You can pick your poison on which one of these that you want to play the most, however, I would still recommend finding a buddy and playing Marvel 3 together.
Can't escape from crossing fate! Fight!
Ah, finally, I get to talk about this piece of shit that I love so dearly. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is a terrible fighting game that should never be played by anyone. It is also my favorite versus fighting game ever to be made, and I will not hear any bad things about it. BB Tag is a versus game where you control 2 characters. Just like Dragon Ball FighterZ, the game has auto combos and easy motion inputs, only ever having quarter circles and down-down inputs. Now, some of you may look at this and argue that Dragon Ball should be up here rather than BB Tag, but if you're making that argument, you obviously haven't looked at the way that the assists work in this game. Every character in BB Tag has 3 assists, and you can use all of them in a match without having to choose one before the start. To tag your other character in, you can use the same tag mechanics you've used in every other game on this list, or you can use an assist and then tag them in before the assist character runs off the screen, meaning that they're just there now. If you want to do this while performing a move on your previous character, they will stay on the screen for a while. So not only can you keep both characters in at the same time, they can be fighting and give you a little bit of ridiculous pressure and some nutty combos. Speaking of ridiculous pressure and nutty combos, you can force both of your characters to stay on the screen at the same time. They just don't leave. They're just ganging up on him. This poor guy. You can also break combos in the game by calling your assist character in, who will slam down on your opponent. Now, this all sounds like a lot, but everything I've said is what Riot has shown is possible in Project L. Apart from controlling both characters at the same time, but, you know, early days. The dynamic ways that you can use both characters in the game seems to be the closest thing on the market right now to how Riot is designing Project L. So while the movement is Marvel, the core DNA is BB Tag, baby. Yes, this was an excuse for me to get more people to play BB Tag. So there we have it. Those are 4 games that you should try if you want to get ready for Project L. If you don't like the look of any of these games, why not try a fighting game that does catch your fancy? Try Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, Tekken, Tough Love Arena, fucking Dengeki Bukkon Fighting Climax. I don't care. Just go and have fun with the genre. Any amount of experience is better than none. Fighting games are great, and you shouldn't wait for Project L to show you that. So, go out there and find the one that looks cool and have a good time. A very special thanks to 64 MHz, Barudakai, Daniel Wiederick, Games.png, Lady Dantalon, Melodically Me, Monarch, Proxy, Smeech, Super, Straw Fox, and Tom Tanks for being Tier 2 Patreon supporters.